बिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So on behalf of ISKCON Atlanta, I welcome you all for this wonderful, most auspicious occasion of Varaha Dwadashi. I would like to offer my humble obeisances to all the exalted Vaishnavas present here today and to the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Although I am totally unqualified in all ways to serve today, I have been asked to do this. So I pray for your blessings so that whatever I may speak may be for the pleasure and glorification of the Lord and for the pleasure of the devotees. Hare Krishna. So today is the appearance of Lord Varaha. So we hear in Vyasadev, from Vyasadev we hear in Srimad Bhagavatam about the glories of Varahadev. So Varahadev was a boar incarnation of the Lord. Varaha in Sanskrit means the hog or a pig. There are many incarnations of the Supreme Lord, and he comes in this material world for a specific purpose. Every incarnation he takes is for a particular purpose. And there are many expansions of the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Ete cham sakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So it is explained that Ete Chamsa Kala Pumsaha, that means the plenary portions, that incarnations of the Lord are plenary portions or the portions of his plenary portions. But Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, but Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indradi Vyakulam Lokam. Indrari means what? The enemies of Indra. So when the enemies of Indra attack, Vyakulam Lokam means they cause distress in the planet of the demigods, the atheists, the demons. Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. To save them, Lord Krishna incarnates in different planetary systems, yuga after yuga. Okay? So Krishna is the main avatari. It means that he is the main original candle. So when we have one candle and you have a room full of candles, the first candle is the original, Govindam Adi Purusham. And then we light the other candles with that original candle. So Krishna is that original candle and all the others are the incarnations of Krishna. So actually everything comes from Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matah sarvam pravartate. It means that I am the source of all the spiritual and material worlds and everything emanates from me. Everything emanates from Krishna. The supreme absolute truth, who is all attractive and who possesses all beauty, he appeared in this world in the form of a boar. And actually a boar is considered a very abominable animal. But Srila Prabhupada, in his lecture, he cites from Narsimha Purana how he narrates a story of how a mlecha, that is a person of low caste and character, he was once hunting in the forest and he was attacked by a boar. So boar is considered very dirty, the most lowest species is considered a boar. So this boar, who is a hog is nothing but a boar with tusks and who is very dangerous. He attacks to kill. So this mlecha was attacked by this boar and he was being stabbed by this boar. And as he was being stabbed, that mlecha considered the boar. The mlecha himself is very low caste and low class and abominable in his activities. But he also considered the hog, the boar, to be most abominable. So he started saying, Haram, Haram, Haram. He started calling out, which means, oh, most condemned, oh, most abominable. And even though he was born a mlecha and even though he was killed by the most abominable species, he went back to Godhead. How did this happen? Because he called out the name of Lord Ram. Ha Ram, Ha Ram, Ha Ram, he called out. And he called out the names without any ulterior motives. He didn't have any motive, but he was just calling out to the Lord. So in this material world, Krishna incarnated as the boar. But this boar form was most attractive. It is stated that the demigods in the planets of their demigods, they themselves were more attracted by the beauty of Varaha Dev than their wives. We all know how beautiful the Apsaras are, but their beauty was completely faded when they took darshan of Lord Varaha Dev. In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna instructs us, Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo veti tatvatah, tyaktva deham punar janma, naiti mam eti sorjuna. That means one who knows my transcendental nature and the appearance and disappearance of my activities upon leaving this body does not ever take birth in this material world. And then Krishna goes on to say again in the 4th chapter, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstharpanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to establish the principle of religion, I come millennium after millennium. But Bhagwan Krishna does not have to personally descend. Why is he doing this? He can send his empowered representatives through material forces, through material nature. He can easily perform all these actions. But the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Absolute Truth, has a purpose to descend. And what is the purpose? It is essentially to attract our minds and hearts back to him. When he comes, he performs and he demonstrates all his opulences. He has 6 opulences: beauty, fame, renunciation, knowledge, strength. And we all know that materially we are all attracted by these 6 Aishwaryas. But when the Lord comes, he descends, he wants to attract our hearts and minds back by displaying all these 6 Aishwaryas. And that is the purpose of him coming in these various incarnations. And therefore, to hear the glories of these incarnations and to hear their divine pastimes, that is the supreme most occupation of all humanity. For one who takes human birth, however successful he may be in material world, if he does not develop a taste of hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, Shrama, it is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shrama eva hi kevalam. That means he has performed nothing but useless labor. So, our supreme most occupation is to hear the glories and pastimes of the Lord and his incarnations and to chant his names. Srimad Bhagavatam said he has cheated himself of the greatest fortune and opportunity in his life if he has not heard the glories of the Lord. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva has described in 18,000 shlokas the different pastimes of the Lord and his incarnations. Srila Prabhupada also says in his lecture, you cannot see God with your eyes, but you can definitely see God with your ears. A very, very advanced devotee is able to see God with his eyes. But just by hearing his names and by hearing his glories, we simple devotees who are not that advanced, we can witness within our heart through that sound vibration the glories of the Lord. We can witness the God in our heart. So on holy days like this, the most glorious opportunity is being provided to us to hear about the glories of the Lord. By our good fortune and by the divine arrangement of Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, we have gathered here today. We have 20 minutes. I will attempt to describe quickly how Lord Varaha appeared in this material world, again to attract our heart. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, the cause of all causes, appeared in this world in the most beautiful and extraordinary form of a boar. This story is explained by Maitreya Muni to Vidura in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 3rd canto. It is described that Brahma was just beginning the creation and he created the 4 Kumaras. And it is the duty of the sons to assist his father in whatever activities he is performing. So Brahma told the 4 Kumaras that you should help me in expanding the population. First you must be purified, then you have to get married, then you must procreate, and then you must help propagate the population. But the 4 Kumaras were not interested. They were very renounced. They knew that if they got into all this marrying and children, they would be engrossed in sense gratification and they would not be able to focus their mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. So they said, we will not marry. We want to remain brahmachari. Brahma became very angry. He became so angry that from between his eyes manifested Lord Rudra. But what could he do? The 4 Kumaras, they simply decided to dedicate their lives to broadcast the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So factually it is described in our Shastras that if a son disobeys his father, he incurs sins. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami mashucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me, and I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So if one surrenders to the will of God and to broadcast the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if he gives up everything that is material and serves the humanity and the human beings, such a person is said to have no responsibility in human society or to human society, because he is just doing it for the welfare of everyone else. So the 4 Kumaras were actually perfect and they did not incur any sins. Now Brahma had another son. It was Swayambhu Manu. So now Lord Brahma was already thinking that I hope my second son is not going to become brahmachari like the 4 Kumaras. Someone has to follow my direction. Someone has to help me create and expand the population. So he instructed Manu that you should marry, you should procreate, and you should lead all your children in all pure religious principles. And you should teach them how to worship the Supreme Lord. In whatever occupation they may be, they must worship and they must become devotees of Lord Vishnu. So Manu, with great obedience and devotion, he said, yes, Father, I will do as you say. So Brahma became very happy. He became not only happy, but he became relieved. There are 12 Mahajans and the 4 Kumaras and Manu are part of the 12 Mahajans. So it is not that Swayambhu Manu was right and the 4 Kumaras were wrong or either ways. Both the paths in their positions, they were perfect because they were carrying out the orders of their father. At the same time, both were engaged in serving Lord Vishnu. So no one is better than the other. At this time, Manu spoke to his father. Swayambhu Manu told his father, oh father, I am very worried about all the living beings that are there on earth because the planet earth has been submerged to the bottom of the Garbhodaka ocean. And it is residing there with all the lower planetary systems. It is submerged with Patala, Sutala, Rasatala, and it's a very filthy place to be. And out of compassion for all the denizens of the earth, we must save her. So please, dear father, let us do something to save Mother Earth. So Brahma began to think with great compassion for the earth. Brahma said, what can I do? What power do I have? What is my position to save Mother Earth? It was beyond Lord Brahma's power. So as he was meditating in this way on the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he was praying that something should happen to save Mother Earth. So Brahma, as he was praying and meditating, from his nostril came a tiny form of a boar. And the boar was no bigger than the tip of a thumb. And as soon as the boar came out, it flying in the sky. And as it went in the sky, it became bigger and bigger and bigger, and it became as large as a stone, and it started filling the entire sky. It became so big that Brahma, the rishis and the sages, they began to speculate whether, is this a demon that we have to be prepared to fight for, or who is he? Is he Lord Vishnu? They had no clue. So they began to draw many opinions. They began to think maybe, and they were scared. They were fearful because they had never seen such a form of a boar. And then Brahma started saying, maybe this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Out of my meditation and out of compassion on the denizens of the earth, he has taken birth. And when Brahma was thinking in this way, Lord Varaha began to roar tumultuously like a great mountain in the sky. And it was confirmed that this was none other than Lord Vishnu, who has appeared to satisfy all the devotees. Lord Varaha Dev ki Jai. When the sages and all the residents of Janalok, Tapalok, Satyalok, they heard this tumultuous sound and voice and roar of Varahadev, which was all auspicious, and it was so beautiful that it sounded like music to the ears of all the planetary systems, and they all started chanting beautiful songs and chants from the Vedas after they saw Varahadev. Now Varahadev had come for a purpose. He had come to save the earth. He had come to save Mother Earth. So before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Varahadev flew in the sky. And he was so beautiful, he was so attractive. He was slashing his tail. His hard hair on his body were quivering. It is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, and his glance was luminous. He was looking at everybody, all the demigods, Lord Brahma, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hoofs and his beautiful glistening white tusk. Such is the beautiful description of Lord Varaha. And he was playing like an elephant, and he entered into the waters, and the roaring of his sound was a reply to the Vedic prayers to all the demigods who were praying there. The Lord is the object of all the Vedic prayers, and thus the devotees understood that their prayers have been accepted by Lord Varaha. He was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and therefore he was transcendental. And yet he had the body of a hog. And then because he had the body of a hog, he started searching for the earth under the Garbhodak ocean with his smell. He started sniffing to find Mother Earth. Now this was not an ordinary Garbhodaka ocean. We see Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean. Garbhodak ocean occupies almost half the entire planet. Entire universe. And the planets are all floating atop the Garbhodak ocean. So this Garbhodak ocean was very vast. So Varahadev began to sniff and started searching for the earth in the lower planetary systems. He penetrated the waters with his hoops like a sharp arrow. And he found the limits of the ocean because it's so deep. And he began to sniff and search the earth and found it by its smell. When he saw the earth, he picked it up with his beautiful tusks and he placed it in between his tusks. It was very easy for him to lift up the Mother Earth. And then that beautiful sight where he picked up Mother Earth with his tusks is very, very splendid. Srila Jayadev Goswami, in his introduction to Gita Goswami, writes the Dasha Avatar Stotrakam. And in that, Jayadev Goswami describes the beautiful form of Varahadev. Let's all sing. Vasati dashana shikhare dharani tava lagna. Vasati dashana shikhare dharani tava lagna. Shashini kalanka kalevani magna. Shashini kalanka kalevani magna. केशवधृता शुकररूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे वसति दशन शिखरे धरणी तव लग्ना वसति दशन शिखरे धरणी तव लग्ना शशिनि कलंक कलेवनिमग्ना केशवधृता शुकररूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे. So he describes, O Keshav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you have assumed the form of a boar. All glories to you. May you be all victorious. Jayadev Goswami is singing. The earth, and he says the earth which has been submerged at the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean sits fixed upon your tusks, and it appears like a spot on the moon. The tusks of Lord Varaha were so beautiful, splendid and glistening and white that they appeared like the moon, and the earth appeared like a small, dark, inconspicuous spot on the moon. So this was the beautiful vision of Lord Varaha Dev, which he has described in the Dasha Avatar Stotra. So the Lord took the form of Varaha for a particular purpose. We said that in the beginning. So let us understand the purpose behind this incarnation. There were two demons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Both were the sons of Diti. So the sons of Diti are called Daityas, and the sons of Aditi are called Adityas. So Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were sons of Diti and Kashyap Muni. Now, due to being conceived at an inauspicious time from Diti, they were cursed by Kashyap Muni that they would become demons. So Srimad Bhagavatam describes that Jai and Vijay had, in the Vaikunta planet, they were the gatekeepers in Vaikunta. And Jai and Vijay had offended the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras had come to take darshan of Lord Vishnu. And when they came, they were less than 5 years old. And as we have spoken, the four Kumaras had taken a completely renounced order of life. They never used to wear any clothes also. They used to come like small babies everywhere. So when Jaya and Vijay saw the four Kumaras, and the four Kumaras said, we have come to take darshan of Vishnu. Four Kumaras, they were looked upon as babies. Jaya Vijay said, you babies without clothes cannot go in front of Vishnu. Please dress up, and you cannot come alone. Where are your parents? So they came, and then they were very offended. So they cursed Jaya and Vijay. So Jaya and Vijay had to take birth as demons. So they came as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So when Diti heard that her children would become demons, she became very sad. But then she became a little happy when she came to know that they would be killed by Krishna himself, and that her grandson Prahlad would become a great devotee of Lord Krishna. So that brought about some happiness in her heart. So when they entered into the womb of Diti, it was a very inauspicious time. Everything was dark, and everything was covered with dark clouds. The two children were born at an inauspicious time when the earthquake started happening. Dark clouds covered the sky, and they covered all the luminaries, all the stars, moon, sun, everything was blocked by the dark skies. The dark clouds were showering torrents of rain, and they were also showering abominable substances like pus and blood. At this time, when they were being born, the cows, instead of giving milk, they were giving blood. The deities in the temple were crying, the jackals were howling, and everything was very inauspicious when they were being born. So when they were born, Kashyap Muni named the first-born son Hiranyaksha. The first baby that came out was Hiranyaksha. And the second baby that came out was Hiranyakashipu. So Shastras describe that the child which comes out first is the younger out of the two siblings. And the child that comes out last is the older one. So Hiranyakashipu was the older son and Hiranyaksha was the younger son. So when they came out, their bodies were like mountains. They were huge and they were so angry. They were crying out of anger. And as they grew up, they performed so much tapasya that they received a lot of boons from the demigods. And they became so strong that they could not be defeated by anybody. Hiranyakashipu went to Brahma and he got so many boons and he conquered the entire universe from Swarga Loka to the Patal Loka were conquered by Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyaksha was his younger brother and he assisted his older brother in all the activities. Hiranya means gold and Aksha means eyes. So it can mean the eye of gold. But actually it meant that one who has an eye on gold. So Hiranyaksha was always trying to see and find gold everywhere. He knew that gold was very important for ornamentation and for sacred activities. So he wanted to conquer all the gold in all the universe. And he knew that the earth was full of gold, one of the richest planets. So at that time, what did he do? He exploited the earth, he captured the earth, and he destabilized the entire cosmic order. And he was drunk with power. Hiranyaksha was drunk. He was victorious everywhere. He went to conquer all the demigods. He went to Indralok to fight. Indra was so fearful that when he went there, the whole house of Indra was empty. He had run away out of fear. Then he went to all the other demigods. But everybody had run away from their homes out of fear of Hiranyaksha. So then he dove in the ocean and for several years he was looking for Vibhavari, that is the abode of Varunadev. He's the demigod for water, the ocean. And there he found Varunadev and he challenged him and he told Varunadev, "Come, fight with me." But Varunadev said, "What will you do by fighting with me? I am so old, I cannot fight with you. But if you want to fight somebody, you can go and fight with Varahadev. He has just made his appearance and he has gone to the bottom of Garbhodaka ocean to find Mother Earth and save her. So if you want to fight somebody, and if you want to die and you want to see your body been eaten by jackals and dogs, go and fight Varahadev. The Supreme Lord has appeared." So Hiranyaksha was very enlivened. He was very happy. He was like, "Oh, I have somebody worthy to fight with." His false ego was convincing him that he could fight the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna. So as he was searching for Varahadev, we always know there's a helper who comes and enlightens the situation. And that is Narad Muni. And Narad Muni came there and he said, "Where are you going, Hiranyaksha?" And Hiranyaksha said, "I am going to fight Lord Varaha." And he said, yes, he has just gone to the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean and he's already saved Mother Earth and he's lifting her up with his tusks. So Lord Varahadev had started his journey back up from the bottom of Garbhodak ocean with Mother Earth. And as he was traveling upwards on his way, Hiranyaksha came to attack Varahadev. Hiranyaksha laughed when he saw the Lord. "Ha ha ha," he said. "You amphibious beast." He criticized Lord Vishnu. "I have come to challenge you. I have come to fight you and I have come to kill you." He told Lord Vishnu. He told Varahadev. He said, "The earth has been entrusted to the demons, the inhabitants of the lower planets. You cannot take it from my presence and you will be dead if you do that. You will be hurt by me. Don't you dare touch the earth. It belongs to us." So Lord Varaha was very much hurt by the words of Hiranyaksha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Aham bija pradapita." That means I am the seed-giving father of all living beings. It means everyone is Krishna's son or daughter. When a father is insulted by his son or daughter, he is very hurt. But out of compassion for the earth, he simply ignored Hiranyakashipu's comment and he continued swimming up. And Varahadev continued swimming up, but he would not stop. He didn't want to give any heed to Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyaksha felt very insulted. I'm talking and this amphibious beast, he's carrying on. How dare he? So he ran after him and told him, you have to fight me. Lord Varahadev placed the earth in the proper place. He placed it afloat on the Garbhodaka ocean where it belonged. And then he turned to Hiranyaksha and he said, these words of yours have no meaning. You prove it to me and you fight me now. And he told Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyaksha was all ready. His weapon was a mace. So he took his mace and he swung it at Varahadev. And Varahadev simply moved aside and he dodged it. And then he was very angry. This happened to his mace. It was his iconic weapon. Then he attacked Varahadev and started hitting and pounding him with his club. So both the clubs of Varahadev and Hiranyaksha started making such a tumultuous echoing sound. It created such an impact that the entire universe was shaking. There was blood coming from each other of their bodies. Varahadev was also having blood on his body, and so was Hiranyaksha. And it was making each other more and more angry. And at one time, the club of Varahadev fell down. And even though Hiranyaksha was a demon, he knew the codes of fighting. He waited for Varahadev to pick up his club. Meanwhile, Varahadev took out his Sudarshan Chakra. And when he took out his Sudarshan Chakra, what happened? The entire sky lit up. And Hiranyaksha became very angry seeing this. So he threw his club at Varahadev. And Varahadev caught it and threw it back at Hiranyaksha. Then Hiranyaksha took a massive trident and he threw it at Varahadev. And he took Sudarshan Chakra and he destroyed the trident. So there was back and forth of trident, Sudarshan Chakra, mace, clubs, and the fight went on and on. Hiranyaksha was strong. He was not willing to give up. And after the trident was destroyed, Hiranyaksha became very frustrated. And then he started beating Varahadev with his fists. And Varahadev just stood there smiling. He was not being affected a bit. And then when Hiranyaksha realized that this is not affecting Varahadev, he suddenly disappeared. He disappeared with his mystic powers. The demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, they approached Varahadev quickly and they said, it is approaching evening, Varahadev. The Rakshasas and demons, they get great strength in the evening and night time. Please, you must destroy this demon, otherwise he will be victorious. There is a time called Abhijit, from noon to sunset, which is considered auspicious. But everything after sunset, the demons start becoming more and more powerful. So kill Hiranyaksha now. He has disappeared by his mystic powers. All of a sudden from the sky, the wind started blowing. Hiranyaksha started displaying his mystic powers. The clouds started forming, the rain started pouring, massive rocks and tridents and swords started raining. And they all started pouring from the sky. All sorts of demons were shouting obscenity at the Lord. The mountains started pouring blood and pus. Massive armies of Rakshasas came and they started attacking Varahadev. And they were screaming and shouting. Varahadev was undisturbed. Varahadev was like the sun. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andhakar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikar. Wherever there is sun, there cannot be ignorance. And wherever there is Krishna, there is always goodness. He will dispel all the illusions. So Varahadev took his Sudarshan Chakra and spun it on his finger. And then Suddenly, all of this disappeared. All the mystic powers, all this that was pouring, all disappeared. And Hiranyaksha became very frustrated that all his mystical tricks were now failing. So Varahadev, now smiling, he approached Hiranyaksha and effortlessly he placed his hoof on behind the ear of Varahadev, and then with his tusk he struck him hard. And Hiranyaksha started hissing like a snake. His eyes came out from his socket and he started vomiting blood, and he fell to the ground like a tree is uprooted by a strong storm. And he was dead. Hari Bol, Srila Varahadev ki Jai. And at that time, all the devatas and the demigods and rishis began to glorify Varahadev. Varahadev touched the earth with his hoof and he went back to the spiritual world. So today is the most auspicious day of this one, when this beautiful, wonderful Leela took place. And it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam that if one hears submissively and describes in a devotional service attitude this auspicious narration of Varahadev, which is worthy of description, the Lord who is within the heart of everyone will be very pleased upon that person. Hare Krishna. So the real perfection of our life, we must remember, is by hearing these beautiful pastimes of the Lord, which will inspire us to take shelter of the holy name. And especially to take shelter of the association of the people who inspire us to chant and hear the glories of the holy name. To chant alone in a lonely place is very important. But the congregational chanting with sincere and devoted people, that is especially very powerful in this age of Kali Yuga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to spread this congregational chanting. He came, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an incarnation. He is not a Leela avatar. He's a Yuga avatar. He's a Channa avatar. He is Radha Krishna himself in a combined form, descended in the age of Kali Yuga to spread the congregational chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And it is also given described by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrit, that when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here in Kali Yuga, he himself displayed his Varaha form to Murari Gupta. Murari Gupta was Lord Hanuman in Kali Yuga. So he displayed this Varaha form to Murari Gupta. So since we are running out of time, we will end the class here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Varahadev ki Jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.
Let's give a round of applause for Radhabhava Mataji. Haribo! Beautiful class. Hare Krishna. So now I like to call Suvankar family. If you're here, please come in the front.